Welcome to Pisces, Regal Rebel, where the truth don't sugarcoat and healing comes with fire and flow. I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to be real, raw spirit, divine insight, and unapologetic power. This space is for the rebels, the feelers, the spiritually gifted, and for the ones who've been through hell and came back glowing. I read the energy. I speak what spirit shows me, and I don't hold back. So if you're looking for something surface, this ain't that. But if you're ready to dive deep, break chains, reclaim your divine birthright, and walk boldly in purpose, then you're exactly where you need to be. And for those of you who still read, I have stories of healing, spiritual war, betrayal, divine justice in my books. And you can find my books on Amazon.com under the name Sacred Bell. But before we get into the message, I like to cover my space, our space, in protection. And we're going to say a prayer. Most High God, shield this channel, this message, and everyone who tunes in. Block all monitoring spirits, distractions, and dark assignments. Surround us with divine light, ancestral might, and heaven's fierce force. Most High God, cloak us in your aura that no low vibrational frequency can penetrate. No weapon formed shall prosper. Only truth, love, and elevation are welcome here, and so it is. All right, Pisces, so we're going to get into the message. And we're going to be pulling from my Lum and Lu deck. Well, I've already pulled because I like to meditate on the energy. And the first card that I pulled was Misrepresenting the Truth. And this card reveals that the heart of the matter is rooted in illusion, lies, and spiritual misalignment. So whether this applies to you, someone close to you, or a collective energy in your field, this card is the key to the hidden motivation behind the other three roles that I pulled and received the channel message from. So it points to manipulation, false narratives, energy theft, and someone wearing a mask. And they're trying to distort divine truth, either through gossip, false identity, victimhood, or sorcery, witchery, in a dark way. So you guys know how I'm going to do it. First, I read my cards horizontally, and then I'm going to read them vertically, just to give you an overarching message, So horizontally, the first row speaks of energetic theft and word curses. So we have cursing and taking from the dead. We have shed tears. We have saying things in a contemptuous or disgusted way, so basically being disrespectful. Then we have blasphemous, which is using offensive, vulgar language against God out of anger, frustration, or some sort of rejection. And then we have think no ill will, speak no ill will, and do no harm to none. So basically, judge not. So this first row right here reveals the use of dark energy, manipulative grief, a foul language as spiritual weapons. So it suggests that someone has spoken curses or falsely cried for sympathy. And, this is the invoking of dark energy against another. So spirit is exposing a conscious misuse of grief or divine names to spiritually attack someone else. And so the last card is a call for cleansing and reversal, a reminder to stay in divine law. So basically, a karmic person or a group has attempted to spiritually rob or harm someone sacred, possibly you, through word curses, emotional manipulation, or by invoking the names of the dead, or divine falsely. Divine justice is at work to restore the balance where it comes here. So I'm going to move on to the second row so we can kind of get the bigger gist of this read. And this is my Lam and Lu, which is laws of Mayat and laws of the universe. And I just use these cards alone. So this deck alone is heavy. But I was led to only channel a message from these particular cards. So, of course, I'm going to be obedient. But we go into the second row, which speaks of someone having or performing deceptive actions and having morally corrupt intentions. So on this row right here, we have deception used to deprive of money or possessions. Then we have taking meals from the mouths of babes. So this is someone who is self-serving. Then we have the law of relativity. The law of relativity states that everything is relative because we all perceive reality in our own way. We should focus on prioritizing inner peace over defending the truth because truth is relative. And the fourth card we have is perpetration of morally wrong behaviors. So this is someone who's causing suffering or destruction to others. And then the fifth card here is curse or hex. This is assault spiritually, or it could be physical, but it is assault. And this row right here is heavy in karmic law. It shows someone crossed spiritual and moral boundaries out of envy, greed, or false justification. So the law of relativity card here is in the center of it. And it says that this person or these people believe their wrong actions are relative, or should I say justifiable. We're going to say justifiable. They believe that their actions were justifiable. The spirit calling it for what it is. It's deception, it's theft, and it's hexes. And these actions were not just physical, but energetic and ancestral. There was an intentional energetic theft or manipulation aimed to rob somebody of divine inheritance, to rob somebody of peace, to rob someone of abundance. With the taken from the mouths of babes, this card also refers to spiritual gifts and the theft of spiritual gifts, stealing glory, or energy harvesting from the innocent. And a karmic reckoning and reversal is approaching swiftly for those who participated in this type of foolery. But moving on to the third row, and this is horizontally. This third row speaks to pollution and exaggeration and divine law. So on the third row right here, we have making things seem bigger or more important than it actually is. Then we have truth, which is the quality or state of being true. Then we have the law of cause and effect. And the law of cause and effect states that for every cause, there's an effect. In life, our thinking is the cause of our experiences and the effects of our thinking. And then the fourth card, we have wasteful. The fifth card is contaminate the natural environment, which is littering. And so these are the energies of the third row. So this row right here it's like the divine cleanup crew. So what it reveals is not only the distortion of truth, but also the waste of blessings, the misuse of spiritual energy, and environmental or spiritual pollution. So the presence of truth and cause and effect shows the spirit is correcting the narrative. And all that was exaggerated, stolen, or falsely projected is being reversed and exposed. So there may have been spiritual practices done in dirty ways, rituals using false intentions, or, sacred tool misuse. Divine law is now balancing the scales. So whoever exaggerated harm or pretended to be a victim or polluted spiritual truth will face visible consequences. Truth will emerge, and it will bring shame and exposure to the deceivers. Please believe it. So there's a period of purification that's near. And so we're going to go into the cards vertical now. Then vertically we have, it speaks of theft of legacy and manipulated grief. So when we do the cards vertically, we have cursing and taking from the dead, which is stealing, from the ancestors. Then we have deception used to deprive of money and possession and making things seem bigger or more important than it actually is. So this is a powerful message right here. It's about using false vulnerability or victimhood to cover up wrongdoing. This shows that someone tried to gain sympathy while doing harm to innocent people and people with innocent energy. But truth is the sword here, because it cuts through all emotional illusion. So someone's manipulative narrative is collapsing. The truth is going to come out. And those who were once believed, the same people who believed them are not going to be questioning them. So, put this where it goes, Pisces. It could be you or it could be someone close to you, but you're about to be vindicated. I told you there's a reckoning here. So when we go to the third row, it speaks to verbal hexes and delusion of moral high ground. So when we go to third row, it has saying things in a contemptuous or disgusted way, being disrespectful, the law of relativity, and the law of cause and effect. So this shows someone who speaks evil and thinks that shit is justified. They weaponize words, but they believe that their pain gives them the right. But Spirit says, no, not so. Because cause and effect is now returning everything. And their words were spells. And those spells are now being broken and reversed. So someone who slandered or gossiped in secret will soon find their own words return to them. And the truth is going to come out organically. And it's going to come out without you even needing to defend yourself. You see what I'm saying? That's how God works. That's how Spirit works. So we're going to move on to the fourth row, which we have blasphemous, perpetration of morally wrong behaviors, and wasteful. And in this row right here, it shows blatant spiritual disrespect. Someone has mocked, blasphemed, used sacred language while engaging in dark behavior. It also shows that what was given to them was wasted. Their spiritual gifts is a waste. Because you're engaging in dark BS. Their relationships are wasted. Opportunities squandered. Because the Most High is stripping back what was given to the one who mocked the divine or disrespected sacred law. Spiritual inheritance is shifting back to the rightful soul. So I'm hearing like someone felt like they could use dark arts to do a spiritual wealth transfer. To take what was yours, to take what God gave you, and basically try to be you. Only thing is, they weren't in your skin. But this person tried to fix themselves and get themselves closest to being in your skin as they possibly could. And, basically the Most High God and Spirit was like, no ma'am, no sir, no ham, no spam, no turkey. The fuck? Absolutely not. But we're going to move on to the fifth row vertically. And we have think no ill will, speak no ill will, and do no harm to none. So basically judge not. Then we have curse or hex and contaminate the natural environment, which is littering. So this is a clear warning about energy pollution and spiritual contamination. This person or these people, they're ruined. Someone who was told to walk in peace, they chose hate, and they chose to hex you and project harm instead of walking in peace. So their rituals, their words, and energy have caused spiritual pollution, and Spirit is now intervening. There's a final cleanup occurring right now, whether through dreams, visions, or even physical events. You will begin to feel the air clear around you, Pisces Regals. The polluted energy is being removed. So once where there was a dark cloud, it's about to be sunshine. Get your shades. And seriously, get your shades. Because the future is going to be brighter because you made it through. So Spirit is saying that energy is being removed. That, the air is clearing out. And anyone who participated in hexes is now under divine correction. God's wrath and God's vengeance is not for revenge. It is for correction. Because this is wrong. This is dead ass wrong. This complete reading shows the unveiling of Mag's energies, a confrontation of falsehoods, and a return to spiritual law. And those who manipulated grief, claimed stolen truth, or cursed others under disguise will now see the mirror of truth. And it's going to face them. They're going to have to face it. But you are being protected, Pisces Regal Rebels, and elevated. Because misrepresentation can only last so long in the eye of the Most High. You are stepping into a timeline where truth walks ahead of you and it's clearing your path. And this could be for you or someone around you. You just have to put it where it goes, But Spirit is not playing anymore because, again, and I always say that warning comes before destruction. So you're being called to release spiritual grudges, gossip, or hidden curses, whether this be intentional for you, Pisces, or unintentional. The heart is heavy, and healing begins when the tongue is purified. And with shed tears, that shows that the emotional processing or sorrow may have begun for the ones who participated in this type of behavior. But it's also layered under bitterness or rage, contempt, with blasphemies here. So there's a duality here. A warning against slander, ill speech, or vengeance cloaked as truth. But also an invitation to cleanse and align when you see harm none here. There was help me, Spirit. There was a karmic injustice here. This is someone who used trickery for gain, minimizing their wrongdoing through relativism, and possibly knowingly or unknowingly hexing another through their words, their thoughts, or their actions, their deeds. And it could signify, like, it's showing me that you, Pisces, whoever this message is for, was the target of these acts. Especially if you've been dealing with people who twist truth to justify their harm. It's just time for you, Pisces, to clean up karmic entanglements and confront cycles of manipulation or justification. So, whether you're the victim or the initiator, both roles carry responsibility. Heal what you've done and release what's been done to you before it roots deeper. And if it roots deeper, it only holds you in bitterness. You're never going to be able to heal. You're never going to be able to manifest above a vibrational frequency other than the one that you're in. And that's just what it is. So Spirit is like calling you to restore. This is a time of restoration. Spirit is calling out the ways of illusion and false identity. Because unconscious behavior pollutes our lives and our environments. And this is physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But again, truth sits in the middle. Truth is the anchor. So you're being asked to return to what's real, even if it's uncomfortable. You may be holding or witnessing someone who pollutes truth, who wastes blessings or exaggerate their wounds or their power. So it is time for environmental and spiritual cleanup. Spirit is saying waste nothing. Not your energy, not your voice, not your breath on lies. Because the truth will liberate you. And it's going to purify your path. Like I said, there is a reckoning here. And I just keep hearing that. Because I'm seeing that there may have been an ancestral trauma or an energy theft here. So that tells me that either someone has taken what wasn't theirs. It could be legacy, spiritual knowledge, or some kind of sacred inheritance. Or you've been robbed energetically, energy harvesting. But there's a call to restore balance by facing the truth without embellishment. And Spirit is also saying be cautious of crying victim while minimizing your own role. Because this could also be someone around you that's doing this. Because these tears, they're crocodile tears. This is a performance. This is a mask for avoidance. Because the truth is that everything isn't relative. Some things are just dead ass wrong. So this is a karmic alert. What's been said, spoken, whispered, or cursed is now returning. You or someone else, someone close to you, or someone in your circle, someone in your collective energy has used words like weapons. And you or they are now in the phase of reaping. Spirit is saying, speak only what builds you, or stay silent. Shut the beep up. Just be quiet. Don't say nothing at all. If it doesn't build you, if it doesn't make you better, if it doesn't transform you in a positive way, stay silent. So if who I am speaking to, if you've been involved in dark rituals, mockery, or like mockery of divine forces, sent or received spiritual attacks, this is revealing the aftermath. So you're warned to, help me, Spirit, what was that? What I'm hearing. Okay. So Spirit is saying you're being warned to stop playing with sacred fire. Because wasted energy and spiritual violation, they have consequences. And it's time to reverse and atone, baby. There is a great reprimand here. Retribution is now. And Spirit is saying you're being offered the opportunity to detox your life. But it will require cleaning up of your words, your aura, your physical habits too. Because I'm hearing pollution, waste, and disorganization. I'm hearing clean your house. Clean your house. Bless your home. Someone needs to do that. Because Spirit is saying you cannot be light bearing and carry filth at the same time. That's oil and water. It just don't match. Basically, this is just like misrepresenting the truth. So you're being shown that some form of dishonesty, spiritual, verbal, energetic, or relational, has corrupted your path. This could be for you or someone around you. And whoever I'm talking to, you're going to know exactly where this fits. This could also be something internal, I'm hearing. So lying to yourself, denying a truth that you know to be true. Or external, being entangled with someone who lives a lie and projects illusions. So it's basically Spirit is asking, like, where have you hidden the truth? From yourself or others? The question is, how can you walk now fully in the truth? That's the question. How can you now walk fully in the truth? Because this reading here is about karmic honesty, spiritual reckoning, and like a divine rebirth. So the thing is, Pisces Regal, it does not come to condemn you. This comes to awaken you. Because basically Spirit is saying you are in a powerful window to rewrite your narrative. So that comes with having to purify your speech, to stop justifying what is unjust and honor what is sacred. So basically Spirit is saying if you've been the victim, reclaim. But if you've been the violator, Spirit is saying repent. Either way, the truth sets you free. But that's all I have for you guys. I'm just going to say, I'm going to leave you with this. You are God in motion. Choose wisely. If this reading resonates with any of you, please like, share, subscribe. Donate. Cash App is in the About Me tab. Is in the description. If it does not fit, you must acquit. If it's not for you, don't make it fit. But I was led to give this message, and it could feel heavy, but you know which end of the sword you're on, Pisces. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate everyone who listens to my messages and receives my messages. Whether they're just your story or not, because I feel like all the messages that Spirit gives me, there is something that everyone can apply to their life. You don't have to be acting in this, immorally. You don't have to act that way to receive the message, because it can help you not to hold those grudges, hold that anger and curse intentionally or unintentionally. Think no ill, speak no ill, do no harm. But I'm going to get up out of here, though. Anyway, I will say again, you are God in motion. Choose wisely. Until next time, Pisces. Bye.